Hey everybody, Black Panther's here. Boy, was it fun. And as we finish our third and fourth viewings of it, our sights begin to turn to the next big event on the Marvel Cinematic calendar. Guys, Avengers Infinity War.
Wow.
How exactly did Black Panther set the table for this epic showdown? Well, we got all the updates that this movie gave us, but first, welcome to New Rockstars News, our deep dive into all the biggest stories this week. So we're also going to talk about the recently released Thor Ragnarok Blu-ray and the movie's deleted scenes, and the upcoming X-Force Deadpool spinoff movie, and more. I'm Erik Voss, and joining me at the table are my friends.
Maude, Garrett. Maude, Garrett.
Sam.
That's my name.
Sam is over here.
You're on. Go say it
Sam Bashor.
with conviction.
Sam
Sit up straight,
Bashor?
Sam.
My friends! Let's get started with our top
You can
story.
do better.
No, I can't. The upcoming Avengers Infinity War. And what new things we learned about it from watching Black Panther. While director Ryan Coogler wasn't too focused on setting up other elements of the MCU in the future, yeah, probably for the best. If you watch Black Panther closely and paid as close attention as we did to the footage from the upcoming Avengers Infinity War trailers, and statements by the cast and crew, we start to get a clearer picture of what may go down when Thanos takes on the Avengers this May. Of course, spoiler warning for Black Panther coming up, and Avengers Infinity War, in case any of these predictions end up being right at all. But you know what you're in
Don't
for.
wreck the movie.
Yeah, don't ruin the movie, but I'm going to watch all your videos anyway. Now,
We got you.
we're on to you guys. Okay, now, beyond the obvious detail of Bucky Barnes, Winter Soldier, showing up in the post-credit scene, establishing him in Wakanda to fight alongside them when Thanos arrives, we know he won't be the only former rival to Black Panther to join T'Challa's team. Remember the 5 various rival tribes of Wakanda. In Black Panther, we saw T'Challa fighting against M'Baku of the Mountain Tribe, and later siding with him briefly against the Border Tribe during Killmonger's brief rule. And the Infinity War trailers, looking closely, you can see M'Baku as well as the blue robes of the Border Tribe.
Winston Duke.
Oh, Winston Duke.
Yeah, I mean, do you think Daniel Kaluuya will show up? I mean,
He's gotta, right?
He's kind of probably going to be punished
Going
for
through
what happened.
some relationship problems.
Yes.
Maybe-
Maybe see Adora behind the
Right.
Black Panther right there.
I guess, yeah. I mean, possible Oscar winner Daniel Kaluuya at that point. We'll see.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
Pulling for him.
We won a BAFTA.
Oh, he's
Oh,
already
yeah.
won.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Voted.
things
It
are
was
looking good.
A popularity vote
Yeah.
for best up and comer.
Well, we'll see. It looks like, yeah, all these tribes are on the same side now, joining Black Panther and the Dora Milaje against the invading outriders of Thanos. So we're in for unification of tribes of Wakanda against a common enemy. What do you guys think?
I have so many thoughts, and you probably covered this because you break things down. But we're going to go into like how the end credits are setting us up, right?
Yeah, well, we can talk about that now.
In this
Yeah.
instance, Bucky Barnes and his point and his purpose. Do you notice when the kids were going into the tent and they called him White Wolf?
Yeah.
So this is like the little nugget from a different part of the comics where the White Wolf was, is it T'Chaka, who is T'Challa's father?
Yeah,
Yeah.
T'Chaka, yeah.
He hired this foreign hunter who was called the White Wolf to look after the Black Panther army or the war dogs and all of that, and basically acted as like the Bucky Barnes of the group, which is the one who, you know, gets the orders, takes the team, executes the order, comes back. So
The
works
weapon.
for
Yeah.
it works for the king. So the fact that he's called White Wolf and that's what the White Wolf in the comics did, I think that we're going to see more of Bucky Barnes kind of stay in Wakanda, get the technology, get his arm put back on properly, learn about all the things happening, and then probably work with Shuri and Lupita Nyong'o,
And Nakia.
Nakia, and build up his team and work for Wakanda as like a head of security kind of deal.
He should hang out there. I liked especially that last scene of him coming out of a hut, because it's more like, it's not tech based. It's not him integrating with like a city. It's him going like getting roots back to nature, kind of getting detoxed a little bit.
But still being safe because he's still not great.
Yeah, and so like I'd like him to like kind of get grounded and just kind of hang out around here if he's allowed. If they let him stay there.
Right.
I know they're trying to open their doors, but maybe he is a murderer. He's wanted globally, so maybe like be like, man, you could stay just outside. You could stay over here. That's fine. But no, it would. What I would like is if they give him a new arm. You already saw it in the trailer. make it the sand tech. Make it like he can like alter like the composition of it. I think that'd be a very cool.
Like a shape-shifting kind of arm. That'd be real fun. If Daniel Kaluuya called Black Panther Marvel's Game of Thrones, and like we talked about this in the breakdown, how all the like political drama of like the royal family did feel like those could be like Starks versus Baratheons and whatnot. And I think if we were continuing to extend that metaphor, it'd be interesting to see how Avengers Infinity War will see all these warring units coming together with like Bucky being maybe like the Hound type, a lone wolf type figure, or a lone white wolf in this case, having to like join forces with the Jon Snow of this world and all these other forces. It's kind of fun to see the team gather together with their different interests.
Have you done a video where you compare that, like Game of Thrones, to some of the Marvel stuff?
We got to get on this.
It's not a bad idea. I kind of am really digging it.
You laid the bed now. You've got to get in it.
Yeah, nerd worlds are colliding. So we'll see how. I think it'll be a real fun thing to see. I mean, it would be nice if we could have like another movie to see these people come together, but maybe that's what the first act of this Infinity War will be.
It's more fun to actually watch the Avengers trailer now,
Yes.
or like then you're like, oh, I actually don't. I mean, yeah, Cap's back, but it's like Okoye's there, and you see M'Baku. I'm like, yeah, actually, I want to see them.
Yeah,
I want to. Yeah. There's a meme going around where it's like Thanos is like introducing himself, and you just hear M'Baku do the whoo like thing when he was like stepping, and he won't let him finish, and it's so funny, like whoo, and they all start doing it, and he's like, I don't know what am I supposed to do.
Now that we get a sense of the full toy box that we get to play with now, it'll be fun to rewatch all the Avengers Infinity War trailers now that we really get a full sense of everything. Well, next up, there's another character, Shuri, T'Challa's younger sister, played by Letitia Wright. She's so great. For many, she stole the movie with her charm, uncanny engineering skills, and general genius. Now, many have begun to actually push for a friendship, maybe something more, between Shuri and Peter Parker, who honestly seems like a perfect match for her, at least on an intellectual level, when it comes to like tinkering with tech and their senses of humor. I don't know if the ages are really lined up there. I'm not really sure how old Shuri is, but she has said in interviews that she would love for her character to be matched up with Spider-Man. I think that's more from like a fan perspective than like any kind of shipping perspective. But what do you guys think? Do you want to see a Shuri Spider-Man team up in Infinity War?
Be friends.
Yeah.
You got tech from Iron Man, get some tech from Shuri. It'd be cool. Get some of those on your suit. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm actually thinking Shuri is going to spend a lot of up close and personal time with Bucky Barnes to undo the Hydra implant and to kind of turn him from being a weapon back to a person. And I think that bonding experience is maybe going to take it to the next level.
That could be fun.
And the fact that, the tech side of things mixing in with the humanity side of things. Yeah. What you agree?
Guardians of the Galaxy, she teams up with them and she gets to play with all the space tech and she gets to make a giant rocket, or she gets to play around with Groot, or like how Rocket likes to build like little like bombs and whatnot, and then you have her like also tinkering with that as well.
Her and Rocket being BFFs.
Right. I would love if like between Infinity War Part 1 and 2, we're able to see like various short films, like the way that they did this Marvel one-shots. Like it'd be really great to see just like one-off side adventure with Groot and Shuri just for like 5 minutes. I would love it.
Do you know my favorite thing about Shuri is that she almost makes Tony Stark redundant in a
Almost,
way, because like her technology is more powerful. There was that great moment in Black Panther where Martin Freeman's character gets shot in the spine and he's better after a day. So that kind of technology just like, and I actually spoke to Letitia Wright. I interviewed her, and my favorite analogy that I used was like Shuri compared with Tony Stark is like, do you remember Men in Black? And you had Tommy Lee Jones, Agent K, who kind of did everything, and then Will Smith came in and he goes, I make this look good. I was like, and I was like, that's the difference between you and Tony Stark. And she's like, I make this look good.
I gotta rewatch that movie. I forgot how good Men in Black is.
My first ever date movie.
Hey! Yay! Also, we know another character who kind of messed up their spine real bad, so I feel like she could maybe help out a little bit, right?
Yeah, Brody could use some help.
I mean, I know he's got like, it'd be kind of cool to have someone who has like a disability in the movie.
I agree. Yeah.
That's interesting, but also it's like if you have a way of fixing that, like with magic beads that for a necklace, it's also fashion, it's also a communicator, which is also a phone, but it's also like medicine. It's like, well, do everything. Why not?
Oh my gosh, the X-Men professor's like, please.
Yeah.
I have been in a wheelchair
Yeah.
Please.
for so long.
Yeah, there's a ton of characters that I would just love to see teamed up. Maybe it might be a little too soon for Infinity War Part 1, but like there's a whole other Phase 4 coming up after this that, once presumably they move on from the old guard of like Tony Stark, Iron Man. It could be fun to see like Peter Parker and Shuri swap notes and see like argue with each other on who has a more superior tech. Yeah. Okay. Well, next there's the question of the final Infinity Stone, right? Like many of us thought the Soul Stone, the last remaining Infinity Stone, would be revealed by the MCU, and it would show up in Black Panther. Of course, it didn't happen. Why would it? I don't know.
There was a soul.
There was souls and there were stones.
Look, is that right there?
Yeah.
In the tree?
There it is. We found it.
There it is. Yeah. See, no, you guys didn't see it. It's right there.
New Rockstars credits roll.
Yeah.
Credits, yeah.
Channel shuts down.
Weird post-credit scene shows up with Philip in it. Okay, now many of you have seen the other video on this channel where I actually dig into some of the theories on where that Final Infinity Stone could be. But one of the theories I brought up was that the Soul Stone was actually hiding in plain sight in Black Panther. The massive mountain of vibranium from the crashed meteorite. Now it does give the Wakandans power to communicate with the souls of the dead. And we do know from the Infinity War trailers that Thanos' army is attacking Wakanda. He clearly wants something from there.
He wants vibranium.
He wants vibranium. It's useful in other ways. It doesn't have to be an Infinity Stone to be useful, of course. But one of the theories is that the whole mound, that whole mountain, could be the Infinity Stone itself, or it could be embedded deep within that mountain. And while Coogler, the director, denied this, the MCU has been known to go back and retroactively make other MacGuffins Infinity Stones as well in the past, like the Loki's scepter later contained the Mind Stone, and the Eye of Agamotto did end up also containing the Time Stone, and they had different meanings before they were revealed to be Infinity Stones. But what do you guys think? Do you think the Soul Stone is in Wakanda? Do you think we'll see it? I think
it's a good theory because it explains, like, technology, why this particular stone or like substance is that much more advanced and does that much more, and this technology like it is so advanced. And is it just like a magical substance? Are we saying that this is like some sort of, what's the venom called again?
Symbiote.
Yeah. We're saying it's just like another one of those things, or we're going to give it absolute purpose. I like your theory.
Yeah. It's possible. I think the downside of it, which we pointed out before, it's like, oh great, another Infinity Stone on Earth in all the cosmos.
How does
too
it
much.
fit
Three
on
of them.
on the
People are saying it might be on the thumb, right? So you have Mind Stone, the yellow one on the
The whole.
yeah, the
Well, actually,
whole
that's
thing.
in the comics right now. That's an element they're doing. The Power Stone, like the purple one from Guardians of the Galaxy, is the size of a planet basically, and a star revolves around it. That's how powerful it is. Wow, so they changed that up, and I feel like they came up with that because they heard something down the hall, and they're like, "Oh, that's a really good idea. We can make a comic before we make a movie," and like they could do that. But I think maybe it's in the vibranium because it has so much power, and like there's ways of turning it on and off. Oops, sorry. That maybe it's in there, but also it could just be the MacGuffin that goes from Infinity War Part 1 and 2. Like you can't have the whole thing put together, which could work. But also, rewatching Avengers, I did a breakdown of it, and it was one of the coolest things. That scene, you guys probably remember, it's when all the Avengers are turning on each other before hulks out on the helicarrier and it gets attacked.
Oh, yeah.
It ends the shot on the scepter, like focusing on it, and it shows everything upside down because it was done on purpose as a way, because Joss Whedon didn't like say anything when he basically made it, like besides everyone in Marvel Studios, that was already set up to be the Mind Stone.
Oh, very nice.
Like right off the bat, like that was supposed to be the thing, because once everyone goes at each other's throats when they're near it. When they're away from it, they don't go near each other's throats.
That's very
It's really cool, and it only happens like it makes people act out of character too. Like Cap breaks in somewhere to go find evidence. It's like, why would he do that? It's because he's not thinking straight. It's that he's kind of going crazy, and they all like go at each other's throats. It's a really great scene if you rewatch it. Yeah. Even Banner, who's like the main goal of that scene, he ends up picking up
it's like Dr. Banner put down
put down the scepter. It's because Loki like basically programmed that thing to make him want to do that.
That's
and
very
make
cool.
him like Hulk out. It's a really great scene, really smart. Anyways, I think it's definitely. I think I like all these theories. I think there needs to be like an in between, like to get to the next movie, and it would be kind of fun to have like the Infinity Gauntlet put together at the end of this movie. But if we need something to connect it, like Captain Marvel has it somewhere, like or something like that.
Oh, give her purpose and a point.
Yeah, I think we can give the benefit of the doubt to like Feige and the whole Marvel team. Like they're thinking every possible possibility out. Yeah, and they got a master plan they've been pretty good about rolling out. It could be like, how they split up the final Harry Potter film into Part 1 and Part 2, and you didn't really
and
have
Hunger Games and Twilight.
And yeah, they're doing it. It's not just for creative reasons. It's probably for money. But they didn't have Voldemort acquiring the Elder Wand until the final shot of part 1, and we could have something similar happen here. The death weapon won't be acquired until the final frame or the post-credit.
I'll be so upset if the phrase "no glove, no love" is not in this movie.
At least 3 times.
At least.
It's just like on like a poster in the background, and like someone just whispers it.
It's gonna be Star-Lord.
I will be interested to see, like, if not an Infinity Stone, why is Thanos attacking Wakanda? It could be something like, in Independence Day, where they attack like the most powerful cities. Like, arguably, the city in Wakanda is the most technologically advanced city on Earth, so maybe that's just why he starts there. We'll see. Let us know your thoughts and what you're most excited about now, looking forward to Infinity War, now that you've seen Black Panther. And do you see any other connections or any other possible outcomes of what is now possible in this world now that we know everything from Black Panther?
Shabaki.
What is that?
I'm trying to think of the ship name. Shabaki.
That's actually more important. Can you do that? And then I'd prefer that. Yeah.
Like I said, it's Shabaki.
It's better than Shaka, which is going to be
Who's that?
Shuri and Peter Parker.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to this week's trivia question. We're sticking with Black Panther here. Yay. Okay, so in Black Panther, according to the coordinates visible in his father's diary and Killmonger's flashback, what real-world African country is the nation of Wakanda contained within? Interesting.
Do I have to know geography?
You might have
here's
to.
a fun fact about me. Geography is my Achilles heel. I'm not even going to tell you how old I was before I looked at a map and realized that Russia and China touch. Didn't know that Egypt was in Africa for a long time, guys.
Russia touches a lot of things.
I'm in Australia, and we are one island so far removed from everywhere else. It's kind of like, oh, that's all cool up there, and then there's us. So I did a assignment when I was in grade 5 on this country, which is not where it is, but it's the only one I really know with confidence.
But grade 5 is like the equivalent of like grade 12 in the U.S.,
Exactly.
right? Like, you guys have a superior education, I assume, over there.
Clearly, because I know everything about geography.
It's a real country. Wakanda does not exist on the African continent in real life. It's a fictional country.
Do you know there is a Wakanda in like Wisconsin or Illinois or something like
Yeah.
that? It's like Wakanda, and they're like, stop asking for vibranium. We don't know what it is.
They should change their mascot to Vibranium.
Make like a little like theme park maybe.
Why not? Yeah, cash in on that. It's kind of like if you watch Breaking Bad, it takes place in Albuquerque, right? And the house that they shoot in, people go visit. It's like a tourist spot. And if you watch Breaking Bad, Walt throws the pizza, he frisbees it up on the roof, and now people go there and they try to throw frisbees on this poor old lady's roof. And then the showrunner of Breaking Bad would be like, "Please stop throwing pizzas on this woman's roof. It's terrible to clean up. It's impossible to get up there and do it." Often they don't realize it's up there for days. Stop doing it.
Yeah, because you would like it's just a pizza. It'd be like barely land on it.
Yeah. Well, later we'll reveal the answer to this trivia question. The closest, as decided by our judges, we'll get to do our sign-off goodbyes and whatever character they want to do.
That's a good question.
And later, the loser will have to cleverly riff on her in other news headlines. But let's move on to our next topic, because it's New Rockstars News. We cover all the news you need to know. Guys, Thor Ragnarok released some deleted scenes this week. The Blu-ray for Thor Ragnarok came out, and a bunch of bonus goodies came along with it, including, all the deleted scenes that show the interesting alternate angles the director almost went with in this movie. So let's do a rundown of all these scenes and discuss how they would have changed this film. Okay, the first change involves the sequence with Thor and Doctor Strange and Odin's death. Now, originally, Strange was just going to screw around a lot more with Thor, like making a key pop out of his mouth that would free Loki, who, rather than just like falling through another dimension for 30 minutes, Strange trapped him inside a porta-john. So that key is how Thor could have gotten him out. But also, Strange shows Thor a map of New York City, pointing out the location of his father, who in this version was disguised as a homeless man. You may have seen some set photos before the reshoots happened. They
looked like a blast.
Yeah, they looked, but then Odin's death and this whole confrontation of Hela was going to happen in a New York alley, as we saw actually in the initial trailer for the movie. before this was changed. Director Taika Waititi moved all of this to Norway because, he wanted Odin's death to have more meaning and more emotion behind it. Norway, of course, is the birthplace of Norse mythology, which is the origin of all these characters. So that involved rewriting and reshooting, reconfiguring all of Odin's death and Hela's arrival on this cliffside field in Norway, and reconfiguring the part of Doctor Strange's scene that moved into that.
If you watch that scene, by the way, in 3D, you can definitely tell they shot that last minute because not all the scenes, because it's grass, and when you move forward in that, it looks like here's a panel, here's a panel, here's a panel.
Yeah.
It's not great. Blu-ray will be great though. You'll love it. Buy that.
But I'd be curious to see, you can see the Doctor Strange part of it in the deleted scenes. They don't show the actual Odin death scene as how it went down in that alley. I think it probably seemed really, really like tone deaf for
didn't the audience look at it and they were like, no.
No, yeah. Why is he dressed up as this dirty homeless person
he
who
can't die like that.
Yeah, it seemed a little maybe disrespectful to the character, but I like the way they reshot it. It seemed pretty sentimental. But let's move on to another one. Next, there was originally going to be a lot more footage of the crew's escape from Sakaar and the return to Asgard. There was going to be a lot more from the chase as people were arguing aboard the ship. Also in the final cut, the trip through the Devil's Anus wormhole. It happens relatively quickly. It's almost like lights down, lights up. But a deleted scene shows Thor and Banner hanging out on the ship.
What's he holding?
They're not rendered.
Right. It's still unrendered. Well, what you're seeing there is the Grandmaster, a sex tape hologram where he's interacting with some alien creature, but they have arms and these blue socks that are originally going to be swapped out later for tentacles, I assume. And he's making out with them. It's pretty awesome. Meanwhile, Banner and Thor are discussing the pressure Thor's feeling with this family dynamics, and Banner actually compares them to Dumbo. Dumbo had the magic feather, but he never needed it. It was inside him all along. Same with Thor's hammer. He doesn't need it to be powerful. He's not the god of hammers. He's the god of thunder.
It's a really good scene.
Yeah, it's pretty great. And then, of course, it ends with Banner suddenly realizing he's not eating ramen noodles there. He's grows out. There's some kind of xenomorph-looking tentacle thing that he's eating, and he swats it away, and Valkyrie just comes in and munches on it.
Because she's a badass.
She's awesome.
Well, I'm sorry. She's a...
I can't see it.
She's a shirt?
Badass.
She's
it just says the word. Oh, okay. She's in the pocket.
Yeah.
She's in my pocket. I stole her.
There's also a few other scenes I would describe as, kind of incidental, but they're super fun. A chase between Hulk and Thor through the streets of Sakaar. Some pretty funny riffing by the Grandmaster with Topaz over hand gestures and whether some are universal what they mean.
It'd be really funny and Taika Waititi would have done it because he's got a wicked sense of humor. It would have been really cool if Thor and Hulk pretended to have a race and who would run faster.
Oh, like a Flash Superman race?
That's it.
Yeah, it would be or a test more than just the test of strength they had in battle. Yeah. There was a brief moment where Scourge spots Heimdall escaping with the Asgardian citizens and kind of lets him escape. It was something that would probably be foreshadowing his later moment of redemption on the bridge. But I think one of my drawbacks with the movie was that the whole Heimdall subplot seemed a little rushed or just a little okay, this is all right, but let's get back to the fun. And I think maybe some of the cutting might have contributed to that, but overall,
would it have
really
made more sense for the story if instead of doing Scourge, even though he was performed very well, I like Karl Urban, but wouldn't it make more sense if it was Loki because it would have finally been a redemption arc instead of him just being a jerk on Sakaar,
right?
Less of a murderer, more of a jerk, and then
I liked what he was doing though.
But in this, he would have to see how bad Hela is, and how
I can see that Loki would be Hela's right hand man.
Yeah, and he would be forced to because he can't. She would overpower him.
But he would also be really drawn to that power. That would have been obviously a big carrot for him.
Yeah, I think with
Carrot.
Scourge, they were...
Okay, Scourge, I'm sorry, but you know the Missy Elliott song where she's like, Scourge, did you hear? Now every time I hear Scourge, I have Missy Elliott in my head.
Hey, we all see what we want to see.
Yeah, and imagine that in your heads because we're not going to play it. We're going to get flagged if we do that.
Well, think about it. Here, I'm going to dance to it, and you just think about it.
And I'm just gonna rock like this as I do at parties when music's played, and then I'm gonna
we
look
all
at my
do that
phone
for
and go
real.
to the bathroom. So as I always do. But and maybe with Scourge, they were just following that Gjallar Brew redemption double machine gun shot from the comics, whereas they're trying to keep Loki for his evil turn in Infinity War would be my guess.
Again,
his evil. Wait, Loki Loki betrayed us? Huh? What? Shocker. Okay, well, finally, the deleted scenes include one short, amazing cameo by Yondu, Michael Rooker from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
It was a moment Scourge is about to execute an innocent Asgardian woman, and then Yondu steps out of the crowd and says, "Stop!" And then he said, instead of saving the woman, he just wanted to know where the offices of Kevin and Lou are, referring to Marvel Studio co-presidents Kevin Feige and Louis D'Esposito. And then when he's pointing in the right direction, he just walks off and leaving Scourge to go about his business killing this woman. It's pretty great. Now
I'm confused by that.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
So,
like trying to do what Deadpool does, really, where it's breaking the fourth wall
Right,
and
it's
inserting
just-
things that don't necessarily.
it's kind of a jokey thing. Yeah, he died at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and clearly that took place years before Thor would have. So I think they maybe had this as like a joke, and they're like, wait, he's dead? Or maybe they shot it before they knew. Well,
Maybe they
Feige
did it
would've
and then they
known.
already
Yeah.
heard the angry nerds and they were like,
Yeah.
what are we doing?
Yeah.
Right. They're like, oh, it's not going to work. Because, I mean, if you think about it, it's just like almost like Bugs Bunny walking into frame and making a joke. But as we know, Bugs Bunny died at the end of Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. That would never make sense.
so sad. Yeah, that Viking funeral and everything.
And they tried to call a medic and they were like, what's up, doc?
Dead.
You can't. Some of those Acme products are deadly.
Oh, that's the funniest thing I'll say
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Copy it, post it again.
Yeah. I was going to make an Elmer Fudd Second Amendment joke, but now is not the time for that. Right? Okay. Well, let us know what you think about these deleted scenes in the comments below. Would you have preferred Odin's death in the previous way? Or could you have used even more Goldblum? Yeah, right? The answer is yeah. We could always use more of him.
Always.
Phallic bloom? Yeah.
And as a reminder to follow us on Twitter and subscribe to New Rockstars for breakdowns of all your favorite Marvel movies. Thanks, everybody. All right, well, moving on to our next topic, the upcoming Deadpool spinoff, X-Force. And the
X gonna
recent
give it to
and the recent trailer for Deadpool 2, the team-up movie between Deadpool and Cable, there's a very missable shot showing Deadpool and Domino, ZZ Beats' character, joining three other mysterious figures in the back of a helicopter. These include a character played by Terry Crews and two other unknowns. These are probably the members of the X-Force and the apparent future of the Deadpool Cable branch of this cinematic universe that sprawls everything. Now, the X-Force is an offshoot from the X-Men comics. It's headed up by Cable, and it's known for being way more aggressive and militant in its tactics.
It's way cooler is
Yeah,
what that
it's-
translates to. They're awesome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is this like what Suicide Squad was trying to be?
Yep.
Yeah.
Arguably, yes. Now, we just learned this week that production for this movie will begin in October. Now, it's going to be directed by Drew Goddard. He's a writer for Deadpool 2, but he's also known for scripts for The Martian, Cabin in the Woods, Cloverfield. He wrote episodes of Lost and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He's like one of the best writers. He's, in some ways, another version of Joss Whedon, which is interesting because Joss Whedon, Marvel brought in to launch the Avengers and kind of became the golden child for them. And it seems like this side of the cinematic universe might be trying to do the same with Drew Goddard. But the official synopsis of X-Force goes as follows. The X-Men spinoff film that revolves around Deadpool and Cable leading a Black Ops force of down and dirty mutant warriors who are far more ruthless than their X-Men counterparts. Oh yeah. To me, this sounds like the classic superhero team-up strategy, but with one key difference, a hard R rating, right? Like assuming X-Force will continue the profanity and violence, sexual humor of the first Deadpool did and what the second appears to be doing, this might give fans a truly edgy and funny and awesome alternative to past team-ups like the X-Men, the Avengers, Justice League, and Suicide Squad. But what do you guys think? I know it's a little early. We haven't seen anything from this, but do you guys think X-Force has the potential to be bigger than the Avengers was?
Can you put it in the same league as Avengers? I would say, like, is this a really good pivot for the X-Men franchise?
Yeah.
And what I want to see more than ever, I'm a simple girl when it comes to X-Men. All I want to see is the 90s cartoon intro remake where you've got two sides running at each other. And I want it to be X-Force and I want it to be whoever you want from X-Men. And I want it to just be like, that's all I want.
Just for a second.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just
And I
be-
know they'll deliver. Like, they could do that. They could.
Hey, you don't know. It could be in this one. Could be in Deadpool 2.
Yeah, I think maybe Avengers is kind of the high watermark, right? Because there was a worldwide phenomenon. Those things are super popular. They change the game in so many ways. But I think with the R rating, it allows them to explore things that they never could have. I mean, Deadpool was hugely popular. And I think making a hard R superhero movie allows them to do things for fans that maybe a lot of us have been wanting.
Also, you saying X gonna give it to you, and I did not realize until right this second because X for X-Men, and I'm like, Of course it is. It's so stupid. Oh my god.
And it was a double layered actually because the X Gonna Give It To You was the Deadpool theme song.
Right.
When the movie came
out.
It
was kind of that.
No, that's what I mean. In the trailer, they used that song. So that's why I was
they used
like,
in the trailer, and they used it in that moment when
X.
like Deadpool walked up with Negasonic and Colossus, and it's kind of like, I'm kind of an X-Men now.
Yeah,
right?
it's awesome.
You would never agree with that.
There you go. Well done.
They're very cool. I like the X on the Terry Crews's outfit as well. So a little hint to that.
Can we just real zoom in? Do we have the capacity to zoom in? Because
Just
this guy
stick
in
your
the
face
back,
close to the screen.
this guy-
Just put your face closer.
He's packing some padding in the frontage.
Stormtrooper piece down
Like,
there.
I
Maybe.
mean, Terry Crews, they're not even comparable. This guy at the back, like that, he has some padding, sports padding, I'm guessing, because I can't stop looking.
Yeah, if you
Now I can't. I
can't
didn't notice
unsee it.
before.
But, like,
I was looking
no
at his
one else
head. He's
has
got a
it.
bunch of stuff up there.
Yeah,
Look at how tall his hair is.
He's like a wrestler. What kind of sport requires that headgear?
She's got teeth on the outside of that thing, though. The girl on the back over there.
That's a girl?
Probably.
Well, in our Deadpool 2 trailer breakdown, I actually went into a couple different theories of who these people
I
are.
will
So
watch that.
you got to watch. But
But it's sport. I'm saying it's sport related because he's got knee pads as well.
Well, I think they all have the. They're all wearing like parachutes, and of course you got to you got to get support down there. Because why? I don't know.
cockpit.
I'm never gonna skydive.
What?
I'm never
We'll
doing
do,
it.
we'll do a
No.
breakdown of
Not-
skydiving. We'll do
not-
that. Don't worry, guys. We
Never.
got you.
Not
I'm like
happening. What?
excited that I'll never do it.
Right. I feel like it's gonna cut to like both of us just skydiving. Like, how did he talk us into this?
And I'm just giggling the whole way down. Oh, I did want to mention that Drew Goddard is behind the first half of Daredevil season 1, and that's one of the best
Yes, it is.
looking Marvel shows they've ever done. It's pretty, it's really good in that first half. Then it gets a little messy, but it's a great look for it. Also, he directed Cabin in the Woods. I think him and Joss Whedon developed it, but he directed it.
Yeah.
So he's already gotten A+ in my book. So I'm excited to see what he does. He's got dark humor. He's got violence. Like he's got if you want like a little bit of jump scare, just to kind of add some drama to this. Not like scary, but more like if you just want to like build the tension in this, like he could do a really good job with that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what happens. It'll be something to really look forward to in 2019, 2020, whenever this comes
Does
out.
that mean we're waiting for Goddard?
Right.
I don't understand that.
It's a theater thing. Waiting for.
Wait, break it down for me quick.
Explain my
Brogan,
jokes.
help me out here.
This is what I need you to
it's
do
helpful.
it.
Tom Stopper
Not
wrote Waiting for
ironically.
Godot, and it's a play that it's really boring, but it's up for interpretation. It's great.
I learned.
Go-Go
I'm proud.
and Dee Dee. Yeah, whatever.
Zing.
Yeah, Magneto and Professor X did a play version of it in New York, and it was really good.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it was in London too. Anyway, well now it's time to move on to our new Rockstars news lightning round. Where did this come from?
Where did it come from?
I don't know.
Where'd you pull it from?
I have my places. You guys tweeted us questions. I'm going to fire them at my co-hosts here. They have to answer them as quickly and without hesitation as possible. Are you guys ready?
Gently.
Okay, for Sam, let's start with you. Sam, Marvel TV shows or DC TV shows? So I guess the Agents of
You
S.H.I.E.L.D.
talk
shows
about
or
all of them all
Gotham.
the
Yes, I
time.
do.
And, well, not Gotham, but the it's CW ones.
DC lightning.
Oh, DC wins?
Yeah,
DC.
barely. Yeah, barely.
Yeah.
It had a good start.
Yeah.
That's a good question. That was from
But they didn't have an Iron Fist.
Ulrika Uli. That was a great question. It's
Yeah.
like way to pick a hard one for him. Okay, for Maude, what is this is from at DKS Films. What is your favorite example of robot/AI uprisings in movies or TV shows?
Ooh, lightning.
Actually, X-Men, the 90s show where they went into the future and Bishop was there, had to take down the...
Sentinel?
Yeah, that's probably
a
my
good example.
first
Bishop into
one.
X-Force.
I
Oh,
love
yeah. What's-
Bishop
Rad.
so
Bishop's a great one.
much.
He's a time
traveler? It doesn't matter.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. He's like a...
Cable,
yeah.
you bring in time travel.
Yeah,
It's-
Cable
why
could bring
not?
in anybody
Yeah.
who wants.
I feel like they would be best friends, Cable and Bishop.
Yeah.
He could time travel and bring Laura from the Logan stuff.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. And for me, at Fado Shade
Faster.
says,
Lightning.
is an
Lightning.
existential crisis of faith really just a manifestation of our narcissistic need to grasp concepts that science cannot yet explain?
100%. Lightning.
Well, I would say it might be part of human instinct to have something to believe in, and it isn't necessarily a lack of science that creates the need for faith. Maybe it's someplace deeper where it comes from.
Don't try to science out my panic attacks, all right? I think about the big stuff and I get scared. Lightning.
Well, thank you, you three, and for everyone who tweeted us your questions. They're all really good. We only have time for some of them because lightning. But yeah, continue looking out for our lightning round tweet next week and tweet us your questions, and we'll try to get them on the air. Great? Yeah, awesome. Here we go.
I always retweet it as well.
Guys, let's be honest. We should get one of those Simpsons, when like in the very first episode where they like shock each other. Lightning round. Go fast enough.
Just shot collars.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
And Devin gets the controller.
Oh boy. Next up, let's take a look at what we got in the pipeline for videos coming out on this channel in the next week. Yeah, it's gonna be a big week. We got more on Black Panther. We can't get enough talking about this movie. The original cut of Ryan Coogler's movie was 3 hours long, it sounds like, so there are going to be a lot of great deleted scenes. We got the inside scoop on what a lot of those scenes are, so keep a lookout for a video on that. Cool. Sam's continuing his MC rewatch series
with Iron Man 3, which actually is a great movie. It's very good, and there were a lot of good little Easter eggs.
What happened?
To other Marvel? Wait, in the movie?
No, to you.
Just now?
Sentence.
I just could feel the hate coming in since most people hate that movie, but it's actually pretty good when you do a rewatch.
I think that was the sentence equivalent of like slowly backing out of a room.
Pretty good. Just check out the video when it comes out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Iron Man 3 is great, but it kind of tried to end Iron Man's arc.
They shoehorned an ending where it's like Iron Man will never come back except for in every movie after that. Yeah.
Even movies that have other heroes in the title. Iron Man's guy.
He's on the poster.
Okay, also Walking Dead comes back next week. It's a mid-season premiere.
Too much.
Oh, I'm so excited.
It's still going.
It's still going, guys.
It's still walking.
Swear to God, they won't cancel it.
They're dead and they're still walking.
But for all of you who still exist who like this show, hey, we're going to be doing videos on it. There's still a lot to talk about with this show. It's still based on a comic that's good. Let's see if they can get back to what was great about the comic and trying to bring that into the show rather than having Negan and Rick prematurely fight, throw each other out of a window, and then run away for some reason.
Spoilers.
You did say, hey, get excited. They're going to have a naked walker. And they can
did you hear that? Yeah.
The F word this season.
Twice.
Oh.
A naked person and 2 F words. Boy, oh boy,
Whoa,
the kids in the audience are like, oh my God.
I want to be a zombie.
They're going to want to DVR this episode and watch it alone rather than with their parents. That's yeah.
Zombie tit.
New comic coming out.
Oh boy. Well, now comes the time, guys, for our 15-second shout-outs, where each of us has 15 seconds to shout out, plug, ramble about anything we want. Sam, why don't you start?
I'm going to do Iron Man 3 because I got to watch it this week, and I was taking notes through it, and then I stopped because I actually wanted to watch this very enjoyable movie. There's a bunch of fun references, and it's a great Tony Stark-centric Iron Man movie, which is crazy that they were able to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, 12 seconds.
That was pretty good.
Eric, go. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, my 56 shout out will be for the movie Annihilation that comes out this weekend. Try to go find it. Alex Gansa directed it. It's the same guy who did Ex Machina. Amazing sci-fi. The studios thought it was too complicated for general audiences. Prove them wrong. Go watch this movie. Have it make a lot of money.
15 seconds on the dot.
3, 2, 1, go.
I've got too much to say. I've seen Annihilation. I read the book. Don't read the book before you see the movie. But my shout out is to Geek Bomb, my channel, because I've been doing so many interviews with the cast of Black Panther. And my shout out is to Ryan Coogler. I did Power with him. What are you playing, watching, reading? And he's playing Stardew Valley.
Ooh, 15 on the dot as well. We're getting good at this. So check all these things out. And finally, let's return to the trivia question.
Really quickly, though, also go to Nerdist because I did interviews with the Annihilation cast and I spoke to Natalie Portman and I told her that I loved her.
And 6 seconds will be deducted from your next 50-second shout out. No, that's fine. Worth it. That's cool.
I'm going to watch the Ryan Coogler one because he's my favorite person in the whole world.
He did a really good playing, watching, reading. You can see him just turn into a geek. And that's what Geek Bomb's all about. You just get your geek on, you know?
You pointed out that Killmonger's costume looks like that Dragon Ball Z character.
I did not. Oh, but the people were doing the memes
they
where
were doing the memes of it. That is like his little armor thing looks just like, don't hate me. I don't know all the Dragon Ball Z characters, all right?
Goku?
It looks like him, though.
Yeah. Okay, well,
Krillin?
just to remind you the
Cell?
question. In Black Panther, according to the coordinates visible in his father's diary and Killmonger's flashback, what real-world African country is the nation of Wakanda contained within? Let's see what we answered.
It's not mine, so start there.
I thought you wrote a city in Los Angeles down.
No.
All right. Well, Sam wrote Zimbabwe, which is
it's on the right
it is an
coast.
African country.
It's on the right coast. Bud, please don't humiliate me. Come on. I thought you wrote Tarzana down, but it's Tanzania.
Tanzania. I did a project on Tanzania. Why? Because they have a really cool flag.
Wow.
It's black, green, and blue with a little bit of gold.
Is that when you pick any country in the entire world and you do it? Was that the project?
No, it's an African country.
Oh.
And Eric, you know what? Your handwriting sucks balls. So I'm actually going to say it how it looks, which is Uganda. Uganda.
You're going to feel so silly when that's the country.
Like,
you're going to feel
oh
so
my
silly.
That's not an N. That's a U.
You got to be kidding me.
You gotta be kidding.
Oh, I thought you said that. That's why I thought I repeated it. I get
That's
it,
great.
guys.
You gotta
I
be
get it.
kidding. That's amazing.
Uganda.
Well, the correct answer is the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Who's got a map up? Anybody got a map up?
Oh, we really do.
Who's closest?
Not me.
It's
What?
a tie.
Really?
But Uganda is right next to.
Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. His is Uganda.
So
Uganda.
Eric,
Okay.
Eric loses.
Yeah, I lose because the tiebreaking.
Wait, we tied. Ding ding. Zimbabwe. Yeah,
Uganda
so
isn't
you
a
lose.
country.
Oh, no, we tied.
Uganda is a country. Anyway, all right,
One more
so,
time. Who was it between? Yeah.
wins.
No, Sam,
Okay.
not you. Not
And
you.
the
Sit
loser
down.
is-
Be humble.
Did I lose? What happened?
Sam
You
is
lost.
loser.
I lost. He didn't do a country. I did Zimbabwe.
Tanzania is a country, and Uganda is a country.
You wrote you.
And Tanzania border, but you got knocked off because of bad handwriting. Yours is one layer of countries away.
So
All right.
Sam.
I
Well,
got so confused then.
I can't wait to tell all my family that I won a geography question.
They still have like the diorama you made of the country, and they're like, "Here, I'm gonna ship it to you."
is that amazing grade 5 Australian education's really doing you some favors now. The winner, Maude, will get to do her goodbyes. You can make fun of our names,
No, I
Twitter
like
handles.
to read the story.
And then you also get to set up the headline for Sam to have to deliver
You
a
get to
clever
think,
riff
Sam.
on the end. Is everyone ready?
I think I got extra points for saying you got to be kidding me, but fine. Yeah, go ahead.
Anytime you do a play on words is fine by me.
Prep.
Take it away. In other news,
Joss Whedon announced that I read Sleeping With, but it's stepping down as the director of the upcoming Batgirl movie, saying that he didn't really have a real story idea for it. Wah, wah, wah.
It's Buffy. You laughed at it, so go on. Second
No,
one.
you just said Buffy.
Just said Buffy. Just
said Buffy.
and you laughed
Just
at
said
it.
a show that
and
he
that's
worked
a win
on.
for me. Go to number 2.
All right.
Disney unveiled a new Star Wars themed resort hotel at its upcoming Orlando park, Star Wars Galaxy Edge, designed to look like a spacecraft with every window looking out to space.
That's the coolest thing in the
Say something funny. Sam.
Oh, okay. Gosh, darn it. You know it's going to be bad. Here, and it'd be cheaper to go to space than to get a ticket to that hotel.
You didn't say words.
Yes, I did. If you play it
Well,
back,
you
it's-
did. You got to the words, but you were. You're like the
word-
reporter who's like, hush and charge.
It's like when a snowball's going down a hill. It starts out small, and then it gathers and gathers, and it makes a big thing.
This is my favorite thing.
Lose every time, dude. This is great.
Yeah.
An early test screening for DC's Aquaman had positive reactions from attendees.
It made a big splash with the fans.
Hey,
Hey, you James.
Blood just comes out of my nose because I worked so hard on that. He did it.
You James won my heart with that one.
He seems like a great guy.
He's a dude. He's Australian. The upcoming Joker origin movie, directed by Todd Phillips, is set to begin shooting in May, with Joaquin Phoenix now in talks to play the Joker.
We all know we want Tommy Wiseau because you want. Hi, Bruce. Or you want? I want him to tie. He tweeted Todd DM me, and I wanted him to say, "Oh hi, Todd." There's no joke there. I feel bad
okay.
about
Star
it.
Wars Episode 9 director J.J. Abrams said that he wouldn't allow fan criticisms of The Last Jedi to influence the story for the next movie.
And we also learned that JJ sometimes lies in press conferences.
Yep, that's very true.
Solid
Cool.
joke.
Well, well done to both of you. Maude, you really know how to set up a...
Buffy!
Yeah.
Buffy. Well, let's be honest, that's my
That's
best
the best
joke.
punchline. That's like a Dangerfield.
Buffy.
Sam, be funny!
Yeah.
Buffy!
Buffy.
Hey, if I get laughs, That's
I guess
a win.
it counts as a joke. Yeah.
No, it's not a joke. People just laughed at it.
All right. Well, Maude, you want to take our goodbyes here?
fantastic. Buffy. I want to thank our host, Sam Buffy Basher, who's at Sam Basher. We've also got Erik Voss. E.A. Voss is in the name. Say something. Say a word. A word. That wasn't a word, though.
That's what I sounded like.
Oh, I got it.
Buffy.
And I'm Maude Garrett, at Maude Garrett. 2 R's, 2 T's.
Yeah. Well, comment down below and tweet us at New Rockstars. Like this video, share it around, and subscribe to New Rockstars for deep dives into all the stuff you love. See you next week. Bye, Buffy.
Oh, bye-bye.